Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. The latest from Apple TV Plus is Schmigadoon, the 6-episode musical comedy series that is a parody of the iconic Golden Age musicals. It features a stellar, star-studded cast of Broadway favorites and begins streaming globally on Apple TV Plus on Friday, July 16th. And I caught up with the cast and creatives to talk about what it was like working on the magical Schmigadoon.
Corn pudding, what's that?
What? Are you trying to tell me that you've never heard of corn pudding? She's never heard of corn pudding!
Oh no. It's a song. You just started another song.
Corn pudding, corn pudding, corn pudding, corn pudding, corn pudding, corn pudding!
Can we opt out of this?
My gal loves corn pudding. She eats it constantly. Sometimes I get to wondering, does she love it more than me? Does she love it more than me?
My guy loves corn pudding. I got the recipe. So if he wants my pudding, he'll have to marry me. Oh, he'll have to marry me.
You put the corn in the pudding and the pudding in the bowl. You put the bowl in your belly cause it's good for the soul. You put the corn in the pudding and the pudding in the bowl. You put the bowl in your belly cause it's good for the soul.
Who wants corn pudding?
We want corn pudding.
Who wants corn pudding?
We want corn pudding.
First, I have starting off here, Schmigadoon is spectacular, just so you know that.
Well, thanks. It was fun making it.
How proud are you of this show?
I'm really proud of it because I had no joy or interest in musical theater as filmed. My parents used to invest. Now, do you know a lot about Broadway musicals, Richard?
Oh, yes, I know everything about them. I'm Broadway
Well,
World, trust me. I was brought up on them.
okay, well, let's see if I can stump you. My parents, and we would rarely have electricity, we could rarely pay our rent, but they would invest in Broadway shows. My dad was a lighting salesman for Century Lighting, so he knew Phil Rose and all these other guys. But my parents would invest in Broadway musicals like Bravo Giovanni. Did you ever hear
Yes,
of?
Michelle Lee, yes, I did.
Okay, so Bravo Giovanni or Pearly Victorious. Not the next one, not the Pearly version that was successful, but before that, there was a 4-hour version called Pearly Victorious. Anyway, so I was not a musical theater guy, but I studied how they were shot, and it turned out pretty great.
Okay, because I want to ask you, during the process of shooting Schmigadoon, when did you actually become a big musical theater fan? There was a time during that, wasn't there for you?
Well, you know what? Actually, the first time was in pre-production. We had a table read where we read, the producers sit, the network sits, and listens to every script read, and we have all the actors lined up. And there was COVID, so there were glass partitions, and we're reading, and it's funny, and then we get to episode 4 or 5, and Kristen Chenoweth has memorized her 4-minute song and is doing a performance there at the table read, and she finished and she got a standing ovation from the room. And at that moment I thought, this could work. And then it turns out everyone can sing, everyone can dance. Jane Krakowski's number, for her to do a dance inside of a two-seater Morgan, that is brilliant. How did she pull that off? Just amazing, the dancing and singing and acting from this cast.
Yeah. So when you were in pre-production, did you go back to look at like the glorious musicals of like MGM and 20th Century Fox? Because the feel of this show is so wonderful. Like, what did you look at?
Uh, you know what? I looked at very. The truth is, the more I looked at some of these shows, the more I would complain to Cinco, because Cinco knows every one of those, and I would say, "Well, I watched Carousel last night. You can't tell me that's good choreography." And he goes, "No, I think it's really good." I said, "Oh no, we can do so much better." And then, the one I thought we couldn't do better than was Singing in the Rain. That one was a tough one. But, you know, Chris Gattelli did such a fantastic job as a choreographer, and we worked very closely together. He would videotape, well, not tape, but he would use his iPhone to shoot rehearsals, and then Cinco and I would then at night look at the rehearsals, and I would make suggestions. Don't do that. Track here. Bring the dancers closer together. Don't have them turn. Have them. And then over those weeks, we kept refining it, so that when we were on the set, we finished every song and dance number ahead of schedule. If we would have a day and a half, we do it in a day because we had figured it all out ahead of time. And Chris was so good, and the songs were so wonderful that Cinco wrote that it was really easy.
You have hired some of the very best. I mean, Christopher Gattelli has been a friend. I knew him as a dancer before he became, you know, a Tony Award-winning choreographer. The team you put together for the Schmigadoon is so incredible. Would you share one of your most favorite moments on the set of Schmigadoon? What was it for you, Barry?
We talked about it, but my favorite moment was Chris and Chenoweth having to do a 4-minute song and dance number without a single cut that ended with 2 big physical effects. A huge banner has to come down, and then all these balloons have to drop. And if Kristen had been perfect until the last 3 seconds, but the banner didn't go down, we'd have to go back to the beginning because there was nowhere to cut into the song. The whole thesis was one continuous take. So for me, I wept because I've worked with Kristen a lot. She was in RV, which I directed with Robin Williams in 2006, Pushing Daisies, several other things. We have another project we're going to do together next year. So the truth is, that moment was so special for me because I didn't want to have to be on take 22, and Chenoweth nailed it on take 3, and we knew we had it.
Well, that's what I think. You hired the very best of Broadway. They're used to doing it up in one. It's like, here's your shot. This is what you have. So just, you know, we have to get this done.
That's right. And let me say one last thing. And that's what makes it work. What makes it work is because you have such great singers and dancers. Editing is the enemy of dance. Yeah. You know what? When it's working, you want Aaron Tveit to do that song and dance in one, and Chris has so many great things he does with actors' hands and acting out and chickens, and anyway, it's great because we have such great actors.
So my final question is, what do you hope audiences take away? I mean, we so need Schmigadoon right now. What do you hope they walk away with after watching this incredible series?
I want them to be entertained. I want them to see great acting. It's lovely. It's emotional. It's silly. It's funny. It works for 12-year-olds and it works for 80-year-olds. And you don't listen. I got to say this to everyone out there. If I could enjoy watching Schmigadoon, anyone can, because I don't like musical theater and I love this show.
Leave me alone!
All I said is we should bail on the hike. I didn't mean us in general. I just meant the hike.
You don't want to make our relationship better?
Our relationship is fine.
What's that?
Church bells? Schmigadoon?
Welcome to our little town,
where friends are all you'll meet.
Must be something they do for tourists.
Hey, everyone!
Hey there, Pete!
Can we go now?
Already?
What?
We can't leave. It's like magic. We're in an actual musical.
Please, God, no.
Everybody! They said we're only here till we found true love. Do you think this is true love?
What does that even mean? Who knows what Schmigadoon thinks is true love? Which of you ladies wants to cross this bridge with me?
You want to try with other people?
We're the men.
What a beautiful couple you two make.
Stop it. You are stunning. Compared to you, I'm a barefoot mess.
Ah! Let's go find your shoes, shall we?
There's hope for all, whether great or small. There's no flaw or wrong. Bring your parasol and we party.
We're stuck here forever.
You're just going to give up?
We're smart. We found our way out of IKEA. We'll find a way out of here.
Ladies, can I get a cackle?
We're in a musical, okay? Nobody gets killed in a musical, except Oklahoma, and Carousel, and South Pacific. Oh, hello, West Side Story.
That's all the musicals.